Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually going to be filming something a little bit different to what I've been filming recently. Today is a bit more of a sit down, a little bit more of a chat about different things that people ask me all the time about being a young parent. And it's not just things that I get asked, it's things that, I don't know, like stereotype and things like that. So basically what I did was I typed into Google, what are the struggles of being a young parent? And pretty much every single link came down to the same 5 or 6 things. So I'm going to go over those and I'm going to say my opinion as a young parent on what if these stereotypes are correct or if they are literally just stereotypes. So I am going to I'm going to compare myself to each one and say how I feel against that one. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into this video. Okay, so the first thing that is on the list is something that I have actually spoke about in a vlog before, and it's about being judged. Like when you're out in public getting judged by people, like people looking at you and thinking, you're really young, why have you got a baby? Okay, so in my opinion, I don't think I've really ever been, like, I've never been affected by it anyway. If someone's judged me, then I haven't really noticed. What I do notice when I'm out is actually the complete opposite. So many people talk to me and ask me how my baby is, how she's doing, she looks amazing, I look well. Like, it's actually usually mums with babies that would stop me, because obviously they probably understand, like, there are other struggles that aren't just for young parents. Obviously, like, there's struggles for everyone. When you have a baby, you're opening yourself up to a whole new experience. Even if it's your second one, then obviously you've then got to have a baby and your kid at the same time. So everything, like when you have a child, obviously it's gonna bring new challenges to your life. In my opinion, being judged is not necessarily the worst thing in the world for me, but I can guarantee there are people that probably get judged a lot harder than me. I mean, I'm not super young, I'm 22, Nee is 20 now, she was 19 when she had Harlow, so obviously she was a teenager, so people may have looked at us and thought that. I think people probably look at us and I think we try to, well, we're quite mature, so I think people probably look at us and think, oh, okay, yeah, they're alright, whatever. We don't look too young, so maybe if like we're a bit younger, then it could be a massive problem. But from my own experiences, being judged is not as bad as it's made out to be. Like, it's not as bad as it's made out to be. Okay, so the next one is missing out on your friends' plans. So if your friends are going out somewhere, sometimes you can't go with them. Sometimes, or a lot of the time, in fact, there's a lot of times that I miss out on my friends' plans, and I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world for me, because I'm missing out because I've got a baby and my girlfriend, which I love so much, and I love spending time with them, and I wouldn't want to be going out and doing all this stuff when I've got everything else at home. I don't need to be going out and doing everything that all my friends are doing all the time. But I mean, I still get to go out with my friends. Not every night, obviously, but I mean, if I want to go out, Nee is more than capable of looking after Harlow. It's the same for Nee. If Nee wants to go out, I'm more than capable of looking after Harlow by myself as well. So we're quite lucky like that. I can imagine if you're a single parent, it could be really difficult, because you don't have that person to bounce back off and like be able to say, okay, Nee, I'm gonna go out, is it alright if you stay home, blah blah blah. You don't have that as much, so I could see why that could be a huge problem. So obviously this is aimed at young parents. I do sort of get why, because obviously you're probably the first one to have the child out of your group of friends or whatnot. So, well, I was anyway, and so was Nicole, so we were both the first ones out of our groups of friends to have a baby. So there's not anyone else of our friends that we go out with a baby. So I can understand that more, but I think it does affect older people as well. I think obviously if they're in a group of friends where they don't have children, then it's going to affect them just as much. So I don't think all these things are always going to be necessarily bang on young parents, but it can be for anyone really. But yeah, again, my personal opinion on it, on myself, this isn't for anyone else. I'm not saying this isn't a problem for anyone else, but I think it's very bearable, because I don't feel like I miss out on anything. I know my friends are always going to be there, and I know that I'm I've got a good group of friends that aren't gonna just get bored of me because I can't go out every time. So when I do go out, I make sure I enjoy it. Simple as that. Okay, so this next one is, again, I think it probably bounces off of the one that we've just done, and it's feeling isolated. Again, this is down for young parents on all of the lists, but I think this is probably aimed more at maybe single parents, because in my experience, Nicole and I, we can bounce off each other so well, and Harlow as well. I feel like we just bounce. Like I can't feel isolated when I'm with them. So I think it's probably more aimed at single parents, because I could see myself probably being isolated if I was just me and just Harlow by ourselves every day. It could get quite a lot. It could get too much maybe, because you've got to do everything. And I mean, I respect single parents so much, because I know it can get difficult at times, but I think Nee and I, like, I don't want to blow our own trumpet, but I think we're doing a really, really good job. I think we do bounce off each other, and well, yeah, we're lucky enough to not feel isolated. But if you do feel isolated, then you just, I think probably family, if you can reach out to family, and if you can reach out to your friends and just tell them that you're feeling isolated, then I'm sure if your friends are good friends, they will help you through it, whatever it is. Like, if you tell them, I'm sure they'll be there. So I think if you are in that situation where you're feeling isolated, I think it is best to reach out and tell people about their problems, and I'm sure they'll be there for you. So another one that popped up, which I can understand again why it's on there, but it's less experience. Like, but if you've just had a child at any age, you're not experienced of having your own child. But obviously less experience with children, blah blah blah. But I feel, again, I feel this doesn't necessarily relate to me, because my mum is a foster carer, and she's looked after children. I've got so many babies, like, in my family. Like, I'm the eldest child of my mum's, obviously, so if you look down the line, there's going to be lots of little kids. So I spend loads of time with my little cousins, loads of time with, like, well, yeah, loads of time with family that are little kids, so that's fine. And I babysat a lot and things like that. I mean, the thing is, none of this makes me a good parent when I become a parent, because it's a whole new challenge. But for saying less experience with kids, I have to disagree. I feel like I've got a lot of experience with kids. I'm not saying that everyone that's young has, I'm just saying my opinion on each one. So again, I feel like I am outside of that category again, but yeah, I mean, I can understand why that could be a struggle, but not really. I don't really think it is a struggle. But anyway, yeah, moving on to the next one. Okay, so this is actually the last one that I'm going to touch on, and this is like the top of every single page, okay? And it just says the financial troubles, okay? Again, I have to disagree. The reason is, I don't see why this is, I think this is part of that stereotype again. And I feel like young parents struggling for money, blah blah blah. I think, yeah, there probably are lots of young parents that are struggling for money when they first have a child, but then I also think there's lots of older parents that are struggling for money when they first have a child. I don't see why it has to be put on to young parents. I really disagree with the fact that that is so stereotypically put on to young parents, like, oh, surely they can't afford to have a baby, blah blah blah. Whatever your job is, however much you earn, it doesn't necessarily mean you are younger or older. Obviously, yeah, as you get older, you do tend to get promotions, maybe, you get paid more money as you get older, but I mean, I believe that shouldn't be stereotypical for young parents, because there are a lot of young parents that are very well off, got a lot of money, well, or not even well off, got a lot of money, just enough to get by, and it not be necessarily a struggle. So guys, that is the end of this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit different. It's not as like fun and challenging and like, yeah, competition wise and stuff like that. But I just thought it's something that I just wanted to talk about, because it's something that I am currently obviously going through right now. I am a young parent, so I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please smash a big thumbs up. Please subscribe down below if you're new, and I'll see you again with another video very soon. Bye bye.